In the words of Kevin Hart, it's about to go down. This year's draft is going to be wild. There are multiple teams in the top 10 that are looking to trade down. So while there are some completely made up stories circulating the news right now, it's also important to filter through who are the people saying this and what is being said. Because right now there are a ton of made up reports, but there are a couple legitimate reports about teams in the top 10 at least being open to trading down. Adam Schefter was the first person to mention it, saying there were a lot of teams in the top 10 this year that are looking to trade down, and that the cost this year to move up in the top 10 is not going to be as steep as it normally is. And then Jordan Schultz followed that report up saying something similar. And then that was followed up by NFL columnist Pat Leonard saying that league sources told him 6 teams ahead of the Bears are open to trading down. This also makes perfect sense, and sometimes that's what it comes down to when looking through these rumors. Which ones make sense and which ones are completely made up and pure clickbait. Right now, when you look at this draft, there's 2 players that stand above everyone else at the top of this draft: Travis Hunter and Abdul Carter. So any team picking outside of the top 3, a lot of these teams in the top 10 are rebuilding. We have to remember that. So an impact player like Ashton Genty or Tyler Warren doesn't mean as much to them. So it makes perfect sense if they're looking for more draft picks. Meanwhile, the Bears are looking to win now. So adding an impact player to this roster does make a ton of sense. My one issue with this all along has been I would not trade either of our second round picks. And that's because I believe that both of those picks could also end up being impact players as well. I love the depth in this year's draft. But if we are able to trade up without giving up either of our second round picks, that completely changes things in my mind. If there are legitimately that many teams ahead of us looking to trade down or at least open to it, the Bears can call all of those teams, shop around for the best deal, and still land a blue chip player without mortgaging the future. Who would they be trading up for is the biggest question. A lot of people just assume it would be Ashton Genty, but I would definitely keep an eye out on Mason Graham, the Michigan defensive tackle as well. We know how much this coaching staff has preached about the interior pass rush. So if we're able to land Mason Graham, I think the Bears might take him over Ashton Genty. But then a lot of people are also asking about Abdul Carter. Is it possible? Honestly, he's the dream selection in my opinion, but moving up to select Carter would cost more than moving up for any other player. In my opinion, he's simply more valuable in the eyes of NFL talent evaluators. But here's where it gets really interesting for the Bears. I still say ignore any reports about specific trades right now. All of that is made up, but these teams might be interested in trading. And the biggest reason for excitement here is the Bears have legit leverage. If 6 of the 9 teams in front of them want to trade down, even if it's just 4 or 5 of them, the Bears can make calls to every one of these teams, set the parameters for deals, ask what the price would be, and then leverage these teams against each other. And then what Ryan Poles could do is take the cheapest possible trade up deal to still land a blue chip player at the absolute lowest cost. And here's the thought process behind this: Ryan Poles wants to land a blue chip player. We are in win now mode, and an impact player would really help us. And setting here at pick 10, we're simply not guaranteed to land one of those players. Now, there is a chance that one of them falls, but trading up would also give us a chance to choose which blue chipper would make the most immediate impact. Whether that's Mason Graham or Ashton Genty remains to be seen, but I wouldn't completely rule out Jalen Walker either. But think about it. Instead of being stuck at pick 10, and having to pick from a big group of similar players, if the price to move up really is a lot cheaper than normal, then in theory, the Bears could move up and get a blue chip player by only giving up a third round pick. I think keeping both of our valuable second rounders is the most important part of any deal. But even if we traded a third rounder, the trade value chart, we could maybe even get a fifth round pick back, depending on how far up we move. Now, if we go all the way up to pick 4, we wouldn't get anything back. But if we traded up to pick 7, we could still get something back. But another thing to keep in mind here, If we trade up in round one, that doesn't prevent us from trading down with one of our second round picks. And in that scenario, we could even recoup the pick we traded if done correctly. So while all along I've thought that trading up in this draft was going to be a long shot, sitting here 24 hours out with so many teams being willing to move down and the price to move up being cheaper than ever, this is definitely something to keep an eye on as we head into tomorrow night's NFL draft. But there are also various reports here that the Bears could also be in the market for a big trade down. Multiple reports have said if the Bears aren't able to trade up, that they'd be open to trading down. So think about this. If a team later in the first round, or maybe even early second, would offer us a first round pick next year and more picks on top of that to move up, Ryan Poles would definitely be interested. I honestly think if we can somehow land an extra first rounder for 2026, then trading down might be my favorite option in this draft. There's a ton of depth this year, and the Bears have ultimate flexibility at pick 10. One thing is for sure, this draft is going to be wild. And for the first time in the entire Ryan Poles era of drafts, I can honestly say I have no idea what is going to happen tomorrow. I'm still dreaming that we select Ashton Genty. I know a lot of Bears fans are against it, but I think he would make an immediate impact and he'd be the best running back we've had since Matt Forte or possibly even the great Walter. Fans would love him and he would help us win games. Abdul Carter is a guy I haven't even talked about much yet because all along I've believed there's no chance we could land him. And honestly, I believe our options to trade up won't really start happening until after Abdul Carter gets picked. But a big if here. If the Bears traded all the way up to pick 3, like some of these crazy reports are saying out there, I believe the Bears would 100% take Abdul Carter. No way we would take Ashton Genty at pick 3 with Abdul Carter still on the board. That much I'm pretty positive of. But if we traded up to pick 4 or 5, I wouldn't rule out Mason Graham or Will Campbell. Will Campbell apparently has told reporters that the Bears told him that if they drafted him, he would play left tackle. So that's something to keep in mind here. If the Bears do view him as a left tackle, maybe he's one of the trade up options as well. So keep an eye on Ashton Genty, Mason Graham, or Will Campbell. I think Tyler Warren is less likely to be traded up for. I think he's the most likely guy that could fall to pick 10. But I predict that Abdul Carter is going to go to the Giants at pick 3. And then starting at pick 4, that's when the Bears are going to start making calls to potentially trade up. And that's when things are going to really get interesting. Once we get to pick 4, that's when it's time to start paying attention. But remember, just because they're making calls doesn't mean they're going to trade up. But we are in a perfect position to leverage these teams against each other and potentially come away with a really good deal. And if not, we can stay put or even trade back. It's simply going to be wild. I'm so excited for this draft. Day 1 is going to be crazy, and day 2 promises to be even more fun. I just hope we don't trade away one of our second round picks. That's how I feel, guys. How do you feel? 24 hours away from the NFL draft. It's time to get hyped. I have another special video I've been working on for months coming out tomorrow before the draft, the Bears day 2 targets. While virtually everyone else will be talking about what the Bears do at pick 10 tomorrow night, I'll be releasing my video early, breaking down the guys to watch out for in round 2. I've been working on my Bears big board and running through scenarios to figure out what potential options we'd have in round 2. Stay tuned for that, guys. Remember to hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments who you want the Bears to draft. And until next time, bear down.